Hi there, and welcome to Faith in 5, where we believe you can build your faith in just 5 minutes. I'm your host, Reggie Wilson, and we have another exciting episode for you. Today we're going to pick up in John, the book of John. We're going to be in John chapter 21, and we're going to be reading in John 21 from verse 16 to verse 17. John chapter 21, verse 16 to 18. Now let me give you a little backdrop to the story. This story right here is about Peter. This is after Peter denies Jesus 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. Jesus tells Peter that he was going to deny him. Peter said, Lord, I will never do any such thing. I will be on your side. I will fight for you. But he denied him 3 times. And Peter runs away crying. After that, Jesus is, of course, beaten and just humiliated and ultimately put on a cross. And everything Peter said he would do, he didn't do. He didn't stand by his side. He wasn't there for him to the end. He didn't want to fight with him. The only fight he wanted to fight was a physical one. When he realized he couldn't fight a physical fight and Jesus wouldn't stand for it, he ran away because he didn't know how to fight a spiritual battle. So think about it. Here's this guy, Peter, this guy that Jesus said, you're going to be the rock. You're going to lead my church. And he just runs away. But I want to show you what Jesus did after this point. This is entitled, Jesus Reinstates Peter. You know, we all face different failures in our lives that really can have a huge impact for us. And those failures sometimes can look like it's the end of the road. But it's not actually. Let's read. It's entitled, Jesus Reinstates Peter. We're going to pick up in verse 16. It says, again, Jesus said, Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, take care of my sheep. The 3rd time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was hurt. Jesus asked him the 3rd time, do you love me? He said, Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. And Jesus again said, feed my sheep. So here it is. We know what happened. We know that Peter went through the big denial where he denied Jesus. Jesus comes to him and reinstates him and tells him, feed my sheep. He reminded just how he denied Jesus 3 times. Jesus reminded him 3 times, asked him, do you love me? Do you love me? And he told him to feed my sheep. As the story goes, as you see in the Bible, Peter went out there to turn up the world upside down for God, for Jesus. Turn it upside down. And we talk about him through today. The death that he died was worse than what Jesus had died. He healed. He did so many amazing things to spread the gospel. But the point is, his greatest failure that he went through, the great denial, denying Jesus, led him to a great victory and helped him to be an amazing man for God. You see, the failure wasn't an end point. That failure was a beginning point for him. You know, I know for me as well, failing, it's a big thing. I remember I was taking this test that I had to pass. And I went and I took it the first time and I failed it by like 2 points. You can imagine how devastated I was. I didn't want to take it again. I studied so hard. I put in all the work. I felt like I had it, and by 2 points, I failed it. But you know, I had to muster up the strength, go back and do it again, and eventually pass it. But guess what it built? It built character. It helped me to see things about myself that I didn't see about taking exams or studying. It helped me improve and be better. It gave me an indicator of where my weak points were. You see, so when we think about failure, when we think about our greatest disappointment, it's going to help us and take us somewhere if we look at it the right way. Let's remember Peter and how Jesus reinstated Peter, and how that great defeat he had, that great denial that he did, it led him to his greatest victory. And not only that, he went on to be a man of God like never before, where we still speak about him to this day. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this Faith in 5. If you like what you heard today, please like and subscribe, and see you next time on Faith in 5.